Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, I'll be talking in this video about two of the perfect attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we as Muslims have to believe in and to know and to have proper belief in those attributes. Definitely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many attributes, more than we know, but the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah have agreed that there is a minimum amount or minimum number of attributes that we have to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this makes us Muslims. One of the attributes of Allah I'll be talking about is the attribute that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning to His existence, and the other attribute is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no end to His existence. A quick reminder that the knowledge of Islam or the knowledge of Tawheed has to be taken or has to be learned from the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the true followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, followers of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, for example, followers of Imam Abu Mansur al-Maturidi, followers of Imam al-Shafi'i, Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, or Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. All those are the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah who all have the same creed, the same fundamental creed, the same belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of them follow Quran and follow the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning to His existence. Allah has absolutely no beginning to His existence. And also, brothers and sisters, we have to believe that everything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely has a beginning. Everything other than Allah has a beginning to its existence. Whether this thing is something that you can see and touch and feel, or this is a concept, for example. So humans are created by Allah. Humans have beginning. We all know that. Also, humanity has a beginning. The concept of humanity has a beginning. So you have a beginning. The things, the creations, the things that you see, the solid things are created and have a beginning. They are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also the concepts, the abstract concepts or even the concrete concepts are creations of Allah. So a peaceful man is created by Allah, a peaceful country, a peaceful city is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the concept of peace, the non-existence of war is also a creation of Allah. The concept of harmony, the concept of homogeneity, all the different concepts and visualizations and imaginations and thoughts are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have a beginning, and only Allah has no beginning. Beware, brothers and sisters, because anyone who claims that something other than Allah has no beginning, this person has associated a partner with Allah. This person is not Muslim because he has claimed that something else in this world has the same attribute of Allah, and this is called shirk. Allah is the only one who has no beginning to His existence. Everything and anything other than Allah definitely has a beginning to its existence. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has no beginning, and also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no end to His existence. And this is the second attribute I'd like to speak about now in more details. Allah has no end to His existence. Allah exists without an end. Anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can have an end, and some things Allah chose or willed for not to have an end, like heaven. Allah created heaven and Allah created hell, and Allah willed for heaven not to have an end, and Allah willed for hell not to have an end. Allah willed for the Muslims having pleasure in heaven not to have an end for this pleasure, and Allah willed for the kuffar, wal-'iyadhu billah, may Allah save us, Allah willed for the kuffar in the hellfire not to have an end to their torture, wal-'iyadhu billah. Now, the existence of heaven and the existence of hell, both are creations of Allah. Allah created them. They both have a beginning, definitely. But Allah willed for them not to have an end. So they are not partners with Allah in this attribute, which is the attribute of not having an end, because Allah does not have an end dhatiyan. by himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, has no end. No one else gave Allah this attribute. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no end by himself because he is the creator. But the heaven and the hell, they don't have an end, it's true, but Allah is the one who willed for them not to have an end. If Allah willed for heaven or for hell to have an end, they would have an end. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not will for them to end. Allah willed for heaven to stay, and Allah willed for the hell to stay. I hope this is clear. And also it's very important, brothers and sisters, to believe that there is no end for heaven and there is no end for hell, because also some people, even they disagree with Muslims about this, and we as Muslims, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created heaven, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed for heaven not to have an end, and it will never have an end. And also same thing with hellfire. Allah created the hell, and Allah willed for hell not to have an end, so it will never end. And by the way, heaven and hell are existing right now as we are speaking. Heaven and hell, Allah created them long time ago, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps and preserves heaven and hell, and willed for them to stay with no end. So inshallah, this is clear, brothers and sisters. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the attribute of Azaleyah, or Allah has no beginning to his existence, and we have to believe that everything else other than Allah definitely has a beginning to his existence, whether it's a solid thing or a concept or an abstract or concrete concept or a visualization or an imagination or a thought. Everything other than Allah, darkness and light, have a beginning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not darkness and Allah is not light. Allah is the creator of darkness and Allah is the creator of light. Although it is hard to imagine that there was a time when there was neither darkness nor light, but we have to believe that. We have to believe that darkness has a beginning and light has a beginning. Only Allah is the one who has no beginning to his existence. Anything and everything, absolutely everything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a beginning to his existence. We also believe as Muslims that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no end to his existence, and no one gave Allah this attribute. Allah has no end dhatiyan, or Allah himself has no end, and Allah created heaven and Allah created hell, and Allah willed for heaven not to have an end, and Allah willed for hell not to have an end. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala baqin laysa lahu nihaya, does not have a beginning and does not have an end. Inshallah, this is clear, and Allah yubarik fikum. May Allah bless you all. I'll be speaking to you later in future videos about more details about the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we as Muslims believe in, and we have to have proper belief in. Again, the knowledge of Islam has to be taken from the scholars of Al-Sunnah Wal-Jama'ah. It's not taken by reading books or surfing the net. It's taken by talaqi, heart to heart, all the way back to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is something that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has praised in the hadith related by or narrated by Imam Al-Bukhari. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم. This hadith was written by Imam Bayhaqi. The one I meant to mention is the one by Imam Bukhari that says أفضل الأعمال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أفضل الأعمال إيمان بالله ورسوله. The best thing a person can do is to have proper belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and proper correct belief in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all the other prophets. This is the aqeedah of Ahl-Sunnah Wal Jama'ah. May Allah bless you all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Fi amanillah.